to the Golden State Warriors News Today channel. Take the opportunity to leave that like and subscribe to the channel. Let's go to today's news.
Hey, Warriors Nation. Let's talk about some moves that have shaken up the NBA recently, starting with Utah Jazz All-Star Lauri Markkanen deciding to stay off the trade market until the end of the season. He just signed a 5-year extension worth $238 million on August 7th, ending any hopes of the Golden State Warriors bringing in the Finnish talent this offseason. In an interview with Mark Stein, Markkanen commented on the Warriors' interest. "It's nice to know teams want you. It shows I did things right," he said. "We know the Warriors made a bold offer, including Moses Moody, several first and second round picks, but the Jazz were more interested in Brandon Podziemski, which complicated the negotiations. In the end, the Warriors chose to hold on to the young talent, and with Markkanen's renewal, he's off the trade table until February. Looking ahead, Warriors owner Joe Lacob is super optimistic about Podziemski. "He's been a revelation," Lacob said during Summer League. With 9.2 points, 5.8 rebounds, and 3.7 assists per game, plus 38.5% from three-point range, Podziemski has shown star potential. "Do you also believe he could be the future All-Star Lacob imagines?" Meanwhile, head coach Steve Kerr is betting big on Andrew Wiggins, who now has to take on more responsibilities, as Klay Thompson is no longer with the team. Kerr said on Media Day that he expects a great season from Wiggins, though he still faces challenges after health issues in the preseason and a dip in performance last year. Can Wiggins return to top form and become one of the team's pillars? Speaking of big expectations, the idea of Giannis Antetokounmpo playing alongside Stephen Curry has fired up fans' imaginations. A rumor that's been gaining traction, especially after recent struggles for both the Warriors and the Bucks. What do you think? Would it be a dream combination? Imagine the synergy between Curry and Giannis, two NBA giants forming a super team. Of course, such a huge trade would come with risks, with names like Draymond Green, Jonathan Kuminga, and even Podziemski being speculated as part of the package to bring in Giannis. But would that risk be worth it? Now we want to hear from you. What do you think about Markkanen's renewal? Does Podziemski have what it takes to shine for the Warriors? And what about the possibility of seeing Giannis and Curry together? Be sure to comment, and if you like this type of content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and stay updated on all Warriors news. Besides these moves, the Warriors' future looks more intriguing than ever. With Podziemski's youth rising and Jonathan Kuminga's growth, the team is at an interesting transition point. Even without Klay Thompson, there's a sense of renewal and optimism. Joe Lacob doesn't hide his excitement for the young talent, and Steve Kerr has the challenge of integrating this new generation while maintaining the competitive spirit that has always characterized the Warriors. However, focusing on developing these young players doesn't rule out the possibility of major trades, like the one involving Giannis. But could this bold move really take the Warriors back to the top? The combination of Stephen Curry with Giannis would certainly be devastating in terms of offensive and defensive power, but sacrificing talents like Kuminga and Draymond Green might be a high price to pay. And if that trade doesn't happen, do the Warriors still have the talent to compete in the fierce West? With teams like the Nuggets, Suns, and Lakers making big investments, the Warriors need all their pieces working perfectly to compete for the title. The focus on Wiggins and the high hopes for Podziemski show that the franchise is betting on a bright future, but we know the NBA is unpredictable. So, what's next for the Warriors? Whether it's sticking with young talent or making a big trade that could change everything, one thing is for sure: the next season promises to be exciting for Golden State fans. Do you think the Warriors should keep developing their young players, or is it time to make a bold move and get another star? Leave your opinion in the comments and tell us what you expect from the franchise's future. Are we about to see a new dynasty emerging, or does the team need more radical adjustments to get back on top? If you want to stay on top of everything happening with the Warriors, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and hit the bell so you don't miss any updates about the Dubs. This year promises to be full of big emotions, and we're in this journey together. Let's go, Dubs. As the next season unfolds, one thing is certain: the NBA landscape is changing rapidly, and the Warriors are at the center of this transformation. Even with the disappointment of not landing Lauri Markkanen, the focus on Podziemski and Wiggins brings new hope. Many wonder if Andrew Wiggins can regain his all-star form and take on the role of the second most important player on the team, as Steve Kerr tries to fill the gap left by Klay Thompson. Wiggins has the potential to be one of the pillars of this team, but the question remains: Can he overcome his health issues and last season's slump? If he returns to being that versatile player, dominant defensively and consistent offensively, the Warriors will have a real shot at competing with the Giants of the West. But if Wiggins doesn't meet expectations, and the young prospect Podziemski doesn't evolve as quickly as hoped, the Warriors might be forced to revisit the market. With rumors about Giannis Antetokounmpo and even Damian Lillard swirling, the San Francisco franchise finds itself at a crossroads. Bet on its young talent or try to build another super team. Increasingly, the all-or-nothing mentality seems to dominate the modern NBA. And for the Warriors, who have already proven to be masters at building dynasties, balancing patience and aggressiveness will be crucial. They have the experience, Stephen Curry's leadership, and a solid foundation, but will it be enough to compete with the super teams that are forming? Looking ahead, the big question for Warriors fans is, how do you see this season unfolding? Will the team bet on emerging talent, or will they make that bold move to bring in another star and get back to the top of the league? With so many variables at play, we can only wait and follow every move. Be sure to share your opinion in the comments. Do the Warriors already have enough to compete for the title, or do they need that masterstroke to win another trophy? We're keeping an eye on every detail, and your voice is part of this conversation. As a Warriors fan, I see this phase as a crucial moment of transition. On the one hand, we have a solid foundation with Stephen Curry, the heart and soul of the team, but Klay Thompson's absence still leaves a hard-to-fill gap. Betting on the development of young talents like Podziemski and Kuminga is exciting, especially because they've shown flashes of great potential. But is that enough to keep the Warriors competitive in the increasingly strong West? The idea of a possible trade for Giannis or even Damian Lillard stirs the imagination. Giannis, alongside Curry, would be simply devastating. The idea of such a powerful duo is tempting, and honestly, I believe it would immediately put the Warriors at the top of the title conversation. However, losing players like Draymond Green and Kuminga in the process would also be a significant blow, as they are key to the team's identity. At the same time, there's a risk in relying too much on these big stars. The NBA is unpredictable, and often we see teams that bet on internal growth positively surprise. I believe Podziemski can develop into something special, and if Wiggins regains his best form, he can fill the second player role with excellence. But the team will need patience and hard work for that evolution to happen. In the end, as a fan, I'd be inclined to see how far this new generation could take the Warriors before making such an impactful trade. However, if the chance to bring in Giannis really comes up, maybe that's the kind of opportunity that's too good to pass up. And you as a fan, what do you think?